Schools have a duty to make sure that they are providing a safe and distraction-free learning environment. Sometimes, that means banning some of the latest technology and fashion styles. Here are 10 new trends schools have had to ban. Before we start, show us some love by clicking on that subscribe button. Pokémon Go. This one shouldn't be too much of a shocker. With smartphones generally allowed on school campuses these days, it doesn't stop students from accessing their apps whenever they please. The viral Pokémon Go app has done more than prove that it can be addicting, given how the app exploded in popularity among adults during the summer. While the trend has died off a little for older players, kids are still playing Pokémon Go to such an extent that schools in France are calling for it to be banned, and schools in Malaysia have already enforced a ban. Black Lives Matter. Depending on how you look at it, this is more of a political movement than a trend. However, there are students who are passionate about Black Lives Matter and want to make their views known to the world. But one student named Mariah Havard got a rude awakening when she wore her Black Lives Matter shirt to school at Buckeye Union High School in Phoenix, Arizona. When she arrived at school, she was pulled into the vice principal's office and ordered to change because her shirt was distracting. Instead of being defeated, Havard ended up boycotting and inspired her fellow students to join in, eventually getting the school to lift their ban. Rainbow Looms. Rainbow looms are bracelets that have become popular among school-aged children and teens. Basically, they're made from rubber bands, and there are kits that are being sold all over the market. Beautiful color combinations and designs have been emerging, and kids have a new way to express themselves. However, schools have seen the bracelets as a distraction, as students will make the bracelets while teachers aren't looking. Students with the bracelets have been reported to taunt the poor kids, stating that they can't even afford to make something from rubber bands. So for now, rubber band rainbow bracelets are off the table in most schools. Clown costumes. Most of us are familiar with the creepy new trend of people in clown costumes menacingly hanging out in street corners and on the edge of the woods. While we don't like it, these people aren't technically breaking the law despite a few assault charges. But schools all over the United States took a stand against the clown costumes during the 2016 Halloween season when they banned the costume altogether. In fact, the New Haven School District in Connecticut went as far as to say that clown costumes were a symbol of terror. Hoverboards. While it may be something out of Back to the Future, hoverboards aren't welcome just anywhere. Schools all over the world are banning hoverboards, not because they're a distraction to studies, but because they aren't safe. Even airlines are banning hoverboards because they have been catching on fire thanks to the type of battery it uses. Schools are already on a pretty tight budget, and should a hoverboard catch on fire and damage school property, well, it's the taxpayers footing the bill. Water bottle flipping. The premise is quite simple. Partially fill a plastic water bottle, flip it in the air, and get it to land upright. Despite being extremely low-tech, this new trend is sweeping schools all over the world and the internet. Not only is it easy to do, but kids admit that it's addictive, because they must keep doing it. Whether it's to see how many times they can successfully get the water bottle to land upright, or they're being competitive with friends, it's a versatile trick one can do anywhere. However, schools aren't amused with the growing amount of litter, the trick being done on surfaces like desks and windowsills, and not to mention the possible spillage of water. So, to curb the trend, schools have banned water bottle flipping for the time being. Twerking. In 2013 in San Diego, California, about 33 students from Scripps Ranch High School were suspended after they participated in a twerking video on campus. Once the video went viral on the internet, school officials identified each student and enforced some pretty hefty discipline, claiming that the actions of the students in the video were inappropriate. In 2016, high schools in Maryland have even added twerking onto the list of banned moves in their dance contracts. Given the nature of the trendy dance move, we can't say we're surprised. Yoga pants. Yoga pants are so comfortable, and yet leave little to the imagination. This is probably why St. Joseph Catholic High School in Ottawa banned their female students from wearing yoga pants unless they're wearing a top that is long enough to cover the bottom. Parents were outraged because they rightfully thought the school was viewing the girls as distracting sex objects rather than students. If a student was caught wearing yoga pants without the appropriate top, they would be sent home to change or forced to wear something provided by the school. Similar cases for skinny jeans are coming up as well, as noted when a North Carolina school district asked the public on their thoughts on a skinny jeans ban. It wasn't received well. Trendy haircuts. In China, kids and teens express themselves through their hairstyles with perms, dyes, and trendy haircuts from around the world. However, the government isn't amused, and the schools around the country made worldwide headlines. Why? They had barbers and hairdressers stationed at school entrances to fix the students' hair and turn it back to school standards before walking into the building. What is the standards? Girls must have their hair no longer than their ears, and boys must have crew cuts or flat tops. If their hair was blonde or curly, the student had to have a doctor's note saying that their hair was natural. Adidas. Adidas have been around for a while, but the Stan Smith model has taken off in the past 2 years. However, at Thornley Salesian College, a secondary school in England, these shoes are banned because they violate the school's uniform policy. Where the controversy gets heated is the fact that the ban didn't happen until 6 weeks before the school year ended. This meant that the kids were already wearing the shoes since September. To try to calm upset parents, the school offered to buy new shoes for the Adidas-wearing students, but parents weren't happy because they saw it as a waste of taxpayer money. Thank you so much for checking out this vid. While you're in the mood to check out more videos, why don't you go check out our awesome friend Matthew Santoro in his amazing video, 10 Weird Things Banned from the USA. He's awesome. If you like us, we know you're gonna love him. Thanks.